Cowboys Nation, let me ask you something honestly. What exactly are the Dallas Cowboys doing right now? Because if you've been paying attention to this offseason, something very interesting is happening behind the scenes. It feels like the Cowboys are quietly reshaping this roster piece by piece. Players are leaving, cap space is being created, and the defensive side of the roster is changing in ways that feel very intentional. Over the last few weeks, Dallas has moved on from several players. Some were veterans, some were depth pieces, and a few departures really caught fans by surprise. One of the biggest shocks came when the Cowboys traded defensive tackle Osa Odighizuwa to the San Francisco 49ers in exchange for a 2026 third-round pick. While the value might look good on paper, many fans know how disruptive Osa was on the interior defensive line. He was one of the few defensive tackles in the league who could consistently pressure quarterbacks from the inside. But the surprises didn't stop there. Right after that move, Dallas also traded Solomon Thomas to the Tennessee Titans. Two defensive linemen gone almost back-to-back. That immediately raised questions across Cowboys Nation. Why suddenly thin out the defensive line depth like that? Is it because of a new defensive system under coordinator Christian Parker? Or is the front office preparing for something much bigger? The Cowboys also released linebacker Logan Wilson, creating about $6.5 million in cap space. His time in Dallas simply didn't go as planned. In 7 games, he struggled to make a real impact, finishing with a low defensive grade and very few key stops. Now the linebacker room looks much younger with DeMarvion Overshown expected to take a major role moving forward. Dallas also moved on from quarterback Will Grier after signing Sam Howell, while wide receiver Jalen Tolbert signed with the Miami Dolphins, searching for more opportunities. Safety Juan Thomas also departed for the Indianapolis Colts after injuries limited his availability last season. When you step back and look at everything together, it feels like the Cowboys are clearing space and resetting parts of this roster, especially on defense. And that brings up the biggest question of all. Is Jerry Jones quietly preparing for another major move? What makes things even more interesting is that there are still some intriguing free agents available who could help Dallas immediately. One name is defensive lineman Larry Ogunjobi, a veteran who understands the 3-4 defensive system and can provide valuable depth after the recent trades. Then there's a future Hall of Fame linebacker who is somehow still available. Bobby Wagner may be approaching 36, but last season he proved he still has plenty left in the tank with 162 tackles, multiple sacks, and interceptions. Adding the kind of leadership to a young Cowboys defense could completely change the energy of the unit. And Cowboys fans might also recognize another name. Dante Fowler Jr., even though his sack numbers dropped last season, he still created pressure on quarterbacks and just 1 year earlier recorded 10.5 sacks. Bringing him back as a rotational pass rusher could make the Cowboys' defensive front much deeper and more dangerous. So now the question for Cowboys Nation is simple. Are the Cowboys finished making moves, or is Jerry Jones setting the stage for something even bigger? Because if this defense gets just a little stronger, the Cowboys could easily find themselves right back in the playoff race in 2026. This is Cowboys X Factor, and as always, how about them Cowboys?